quick disclaimer before we begin. I am not an expert in Toki Pona. While I've been learning the language for a while, I'm still not fully fluent. That being said, I've done my best to minimize any inaccuracies present, and I hope it won't impact the learning experience that much. So what is Toki Pona? Toki Pona is a conlang created by Sonja Lang. Conlang stands for constructed language. A conlang is a language created by an individual rather than being evolved through time naturally through community use. It's the second most spoken conlang, only second to Esperanto. Toki Pona's main feature is its limited vocabulary of just 137 words. To put that into perspective, Merriam-Webster says there are about 470,000 English words. The limited vocabulary makes Toki Pona an incredibly easy language to learn. It also makes it a relatively easy language to teach, which is what I'll be trying to do today. My aim with this video is to give you a better understanding of what Toki Pona is and how to speak the basics. This video is not going to be comprehensive of the entire language. If you want to learn more about Toki Pona, I'll leave links in the description. So why should you learn Toki Pona? Because it's fun! Toki Pona has personally gotten me interested in many topics regarding linguistics that I never would have considered checking out before. Toki Pona also takes very little to learn. I learned about half the language in about 2 days of note-taking, and this video teaching you the basics shouldn't take much longer than about 12 minutes. Let's get started. The core of Toki Pona is using its limited vocabulary to break down complex topics into simple pieces. Words in Toki Pona don't have direct translations, but rather encompass a general idea. So like, Toki Pona. What does that mean? Toki Pona translates to good language. Adjectives come after nouns in Toki Pona, so it's Toki Pona and not Pona Toki. But Toki doesn't mean language. Toki encompasses many ideas revolving around language. It can be used as a noun to refer to the ideas of language communication and speech. But it could also be used as a verb to say that people are talking or communicating, and it can even be used as an interjection to start conversation. Toki doesn't directly translate to any of these one things, but refers to all of them jointly. For another example, let's look at Pona. Pona is the idea of goodness. Pona, again, doesn't mean good, but Pona is the umbrella under which many words we think of as good reside. All of these words in English are distinct words that mean different things. Like, for example, someone giving you a gift might be nice, but that doesn't necessarily make them good. In Toki Pona, all of these words would just be Pona. Every content word in Toki Pona has multiple functions like this. That's not to say that words in Toki Pona don't have common translations, but the nature of the limited vocabulary requires words to be more general so they can refer to a broader number of topics. Like, for example, with Pona. Pona is the umbrella for things that are good, but simple also falls under this umbrella. Why is that? Knowing how to say something isn't as simple as just knowing what the word for that thing is. Knowing how to talk about something requires you to think about what you think that thing is. Pona doesn't just mean good, Pona means good in my opinion. Because Sonja Lang thinks simple things are good, Pona can also be used to mean simple. But if you don't think simple things are good, then Pona doesn't have to mean simple for you. This line of thought applies to basically every adjective in Toki Pona. For example, with the inverse of Pona, Ike, which is the umbrella of things that are bad, it means a bunch of different things, like bad, unpleasant, wrong, immoral, etc. But, for example, if you don't think someone acting immoral makes them Ike, then you don't have to use Ike to describe them like that. Toki Pona doesn't just mean good language. Toki Pona means good language to me. Let's talk about Toki Pona's phonology. To be brief, phonology is just the sounds that make up syllables in a language. To be even more brief, the consonants and vowels. Okay, now I know it looks like a lot, but all we really care about are the letters right here. Everything else is just like contextual stuff from the IPA that we don't really care about right now. Toki Pona's consonants are m, n, p, t, k, s, w, l, y. The odd one out here is definitely y, which looks like the English J, but sounds like the English Y. This is because the letter J makes the sound y in the IPA. So this word yan, which means people, wouldn't be pronounced John, it would be yan. Toki Pona's vowels are I, U, E, O, A. This is the 5-vowel system, and it's common in a lot of languages like Spanish, Hebrew, Japanese, among others. Stress in Toki Pona is always on the first syllable of a word, so this word, moku, which means consumption, will never be moku, always moku. And that's really all you need to remember when it comes to pronunciation in Toki Pona. There is an additional rule regarding capitalization that isn't part of phonology but will be important to remember, which is that Toki Pona is never capitalized unless the word that's being capitalized is a proper noun. Now let's move on to the particle li, which is arguably one of the most important words in Toki Pona. The particle li denotes that the next word in the sentence is the predicate. In other words, li says that the word being used after it is being used as a verb. For example, the sentence yan li moku could mean a person eats. But remember, words in Toki Pona don't just translate to one thing. They don't specify number or tense, they just refer to the idea of something. So yan in this context could mean a person, but yan could also mean the people or humanity or any other infinite iterations on that idea. Likewise, the verb moku could mean eats, or ate, or drank, or consumed, or any other infinite iterations on that idea. The sentence yan li moku has a lot of information that isn't communicated to the listener. For example, you don't know how many people are eating, or when they ate, or what they were eating. Yan li moku is a sentence so broad that there's no single English translation, but that's not the purpose of yan li moku. The purpose of yan li moku isn't to have a one-to-one English translation, it's to communicate the idea that some amount of people are consuming something. Because Toki Pona doesn't have the verb to be, li is used as a stand-in for it when it'd be required. Yan li pona means a person is good, but remember yan pona without li would just mean a good person. This is a common way to refer to a friend in Toki Pona. For another example, moku li ike can mean the food is bad. But remember, li isn't the verb in this sentence. Li is the particle that's turning ike into a verb. Translated directly, this sentence would be something like, the food batting. But in general, the way to say A is B in Toki Pona is A li B. An unfortunate byproduct of the way the grammar is constructed means that sentences like yan li moku can mean both a person eats and a person is food. Generally, context is used to figure out the intent. Like if you're at a dinner and someone says yan li moku, they probably don't mean that they're eating people unless they are literally eating people. Let's look at some other examples of verbs. Looking refers to sight, so looking and seeing, but it can also mean vision. And olin means love, and the many different varieties of love that we experience, like friendship, compassion, and even respect. Let's look at some subjects too. Me is the first person pronoun in Toki Pona. Pronouns in Toki Pona can be used at the end of a word to show possession, so olin mi could mean my love. But remember, because words in Toki Pona don't specify number, it could also be our love. Love wins! Sina is the second person pronoun, so you and your, and ona is the third person pronoun for all of your third person pronoun needs. Since we're talking about pronouns, there's an edge case in Toki Pona when me or Sina is the subject of a sentence. If either of these words alone is the subject, li is not used. So instead of Sina li pona, you would just say Sina pona, you are good. Instead of me li looking, you would just say me looking, I look. This only applies if me or Sina is used on their own. This does not apply to subjects like yan pona me or my friend, because you're using me as a possessive pronoun. And that'll about do it for notes. On screen are all the notes from this video, including the vocabulary and the particle li, but none of this is going to be super helpful unless I give you some examples to build off of. So let's do some practice. So here's how this will work. I'll ask, you answer. Let's start by translating some Toki Pona into English. What does yan ike mean? That's right, it'd be something like a bad person, or some variation of that idea. Now try this. What does olin lipona mean? Nice, it'd be something like love is good. Getting harder now, try moku mili ike. If you said something like my food is bad, good job! You're getting a good grasp of translating from Toki Pona into English. But we aren't done just yet. This time, I'll ask you to translate something in English into Toki Pona. What would a friend eats be in Toki Pona? If you said yanpona limoku, good job! How about they love? What would that be in Toki Pona? It'd be something like ona li olin. We're almost done, you're doing great. Last one. What would you are my friend be in Toki Pona? If you said sine yanpona mi, wow, really? I am? Thank you so much. And stellar work. That's all. You've done great. Hopefully after watching this video, you've garnered a newfound appreciation for Toki Pona. That was my goal after all. Like I said in the beginning, I'll have resources in the description if you want to learn more about Toki Pona and how to speak it. I want to specifically mention Jan Misali's Toki Pona videos, as they were my personal starting point and reference when structuring this video. Goodbye for now. Mi lukin isina lon tempo kama. Mi pilin pona tansina lukin.